Hello. Okay, I think there was a technical glitch. We start again. Hello, everybody. A very good evening to all of you. The topic we want to discuss today is about the role of phytogenics in livestock nutrition. Antibody growth promoters, or AGPs as we commonly call them, were and in many countries are still continually included in animal diets in subtherapeutic concentrations in order to achieve better feed conversions and higher growth rates by reducing the activity of microbiota in the digestive tract. However, the routine use of AGPs in animal diets were associated with the development of bacterial resistance towards several antibiotic substances. While scientists continue their research on the actual impact of the extensive use of AGPs in animal feeds on microbial resistance in humans, consumers are becoming increasingly aware of the negative effects of the so-called superbugs. Those are the bacteria highly resistant to the antibiotics. A complete ban of AGPs was implemented in Europe in 2006 as a consequence of growing public concern. In the meantime, the ban of AGPs has become a worldwide trend where many countries outside the European Union are on their way towards restricting or banning the use of AGPs in animal feeds. However, their way towards restricting or banning the use of AGPs in animal feeds and the solutions are not only sought to replace AGPs in animal feeds, but also to reduce the overall use of veterinary antibiotics in animal agriculture. Thus, current research is directed towards measures to help animals maintain good health and reach their growth potential. The feed industry has recognized the potential of plant-derived substances, referring to substances for different animal species in the last few years. Phytogenic feed additives, or we commonly call them the PFAs, referring to essential oils, spices, herbs, or plant extracts, combine bioactive ingredients and flavoring substances. Hence, they are categorized as sensory additives, according to European legislations. PFAs improve growth rate, nutrient digestibility, and gut health in animals. These properties of PFAs project them as suitable alternatives to AGPs in animal production. Current use of phytogenic feed additives, the feed industry has recognized the potential of plant-derived substances for different animal species in the last few years. Thus, PFAs are used to an increasing extent, mainly in feeding programs for aquaculture and poultry. Commercial products that are available in the market today differ substantially with regard to the ingredients, physical appearance, and level of complexity in their formulations. Products include simple formulations based on single, example, oregano or thyme oil, or few raw materials, as well as highly complex formulations utilizing a large number of ingredients. Phytogenic substances utilize PFAs include herbs, spices, essential oils, and non-volatile extracts from, for example, clove, anise, thyme, fennel, or melissa, and many more. PFAs are either applied in solid, powdered, granulated, or liquid forms. Solid PFAs are usually incorporated in premixes or complete feeds. Liquid PFAs are suitable for drinking water, as well as spray application to hydrothermally processed feed. Our speaker of the day is Dr. Debabrata Acharya. Dr. Acharya has over 16 years of research experience in bioactive natural products for industrial application, working on various phytochemicals-based ingredients for animal and human nutrition and cosmetic applications. Dr. Acharya has obtained his PhD in pharmacy, specialization in pharmacognosy from Université de Bourgogne, Dijon, France, with chemometrics with high honors. He also did his postdoctoral research work on metabolomics, worked in elite international companies of repute related to food, pharma in a company called Piramal Life Sciences, and cosmetic in L'Oreal Industries, where he handled and successfully commercialized several projects in R&D and new product development. He was also an adjunct faculty of Deakin University in Australia. His research interest lies in the discovery of bioactive natural products, phytochemistry, process development, and advanced chromatographic and analytical techniques in natural product chemistry. He has presented his work at several national and international conferences and has published in accredited journals. Dr. Acharya has also been awarded with IFC PAR Fellowship to pursue his PhD and TUT postdoctoral fellowship in South Africa. He is also reviewer of several national and international journals of repute. So I want to welcome Dr. Acharya, and Dr. Acharya, please make a presentation on the role of phytogenics. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Basak, and hello everyone, and thank you for attending this forum. The objective of this forum webinar is to present the idea regarding the role of natural products, specifically in this particular domain of animal nutrition, where a lot of studies have already been done therewith, but we strongly believe that there is still a lot of space and flow of information required in this particular domain. So I'm going to present the current findings which are in progress and way forwards which can be done in this case. So the objective, as I have selected here for the presentation, is regarding the discussion on phytogenics. Phytogenics are considered as natural boon to livestock here. So before we go to understand the role of phytogenics, the key objective is to understand why phytogenics is required, what is its positioning, and how it can help us. So to understand that, first of all, we have to look into the problem statement. The problem statement here lies with huge usage of antibiotics. Antibiotics are normally considered as growth promoters that are used basically for three major objectives. One is treatment. That is, this product is specifically used when an organism shows any sign of clinical infection. Second is metaphylaxis. This is particular way of usage of antibiotic where a group of clinically healthy animals and minimize an expected outbreak of a disease, or as prophylaxis to prevent those at risk from being infected. However, antibiotics are also getting used as growth promoters to boost animal body weight. This is like a double-edged sword. Why? Although it helps you with these issues to be addressed for treatment, metaphylaxis, and growth promoter, but there is also an evil side. For example, if we look into a small way of how these antibiotics work, they increase the absorptive capacity of the small intestine. Now, this causes the decrease in the thickness of the intestinal wall. When the intestinal wall gets thinner, it also impacts the organism to become more prone to diseases by disruption in the gut flora microbiota. This is an imminent loss of productivity. It also causes unpredictable increase in intestinal and systemic bacterial infections. Hence, usage of antibiotics are already there in practice. However, antibiotic resistance has become a major public health threat. Diseases that were once easily treatable with antibiotics are becoming more and more difficult to cure and also expensive. Not only that, we are also becoming short of the options for preferred antibiotics. If we see in due course of time of production of antibiotics in the market, the number of antibiotics as an option which were available a decade or 2 decades back are getting reduced because of this antibiotic resistance. Infections from common antibiotic resistance bacteria such as Salmonella can cause more severe health outcomes than infections with any other bacteria which is not yet resistant to antibiotics. This is increasing a huge challenge, considering that European Union is no longer permitting medically important antibiotics to be used as antibiotic due to increasing antibiotic resistance of bacteria, majorly for gram-negative bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, Enterococci, Campylobacter, which leads to ultimately to impaired efficiency of therapeutic drugs. Now, how antibiotic resistance happens? This is very nicely been explained by CDC, and we can also get that access to information which is available publicly. So the lots of germs are there which are drug resistant. So these antibiotics kill bacteria which causes the illness as well as good bacteria, protecting the body from infection. Then what happens? The drug resistant bacteria which are now allowed to grow and take over. This causes some of the bacteria becoming drug resistant to other bacteria, which causes more problems. So examples of how antibiotic resistance spreads. So imagine a scenario where these antibiotics are getting exposed into the food chain by an animal getting antibiotics which develops resistant bacteria in their guts. Then the drug resistant bacteria can remain on meat from animals when not handled or cooked properly. The bacteria can spread to humans directly as a consumption, as a food. Also, the antibiotics gets passed on to fertilizer or water containing animal feces, and drug resistant bacteria is used on food crops. These food crops are again carrying drug resistant bacteria in the animal feces, can remain on crops and be eaten. These bacteria can remain in the human gut. Again, a human being who is consuming antibiotic, this is also getting spread through different means to other people. So simply using antibiotic creates resistance. So how CDC is actually looking into bringing different solutions to this fight against foodborne infections. They detect and describe resistant bacteria, which means by the means of increasing state laboratory capacity to rapidly uncover foodborne drug resistant bacteria. They also work on finding outbreaks faster by increasing lab testing. They improve health outcomes and promote reasonable, responsible antibiotic use in food producing animals. This is the approach which is being taken worldwide. But how we can help ourselves addressing these issues, which is not only a common human problem, but it also causes a lot of economical loss in animal husbandry as well. Now, phytogenics, can it be considered as an alternative? So in recent years, phytogenic feed additives have attracted increasing interest as an alternative feed strategy to replace antibiotic growth promoters. So extracts from sage, thyme, and rosemary, and the blend of carbachol, cinnamaldehyde, and capsaicin improved feed digestibility in broilers. So the increase in the demand of non-antibiotic growth promoters has actually given an opportunity for phytogenic feed additives to be used as an alternative of feed additive. In addition to it, the enhanced palatability and improved gut health are major benefits from phytogenics. Experiments have also shown that higher feed conversion ratio with the use of NGP than antibiotics. Also, it is important to know that whether we are fulfilling the requirements of regulatory bodies or not. So European Union legislation under EC 1831 of 2003 has categorized phytogenic feed additives as sensory and flavoring compounds, which consists mainly of plant extracts, essential oils, oleoresins, and flavonoids, and their active principles. The benefits of phytogenic feed additives have also been well studied. So if we go to the classification of phytogenics based on source of origin, we can consider that the phytogenic feed additives are basically made of 4 different categories. Once they are called as herbs, either they can be called as source of botanicals, it can be from essential oil or oleoresins. Although these are all originated from plant itself, that's why the name phyto. But the format of application can be different in phytogenics. The herbs are majorly the flowering and non-woody and non-persistent plant parts. Botanicals, these contain the whole processed parts. Essential oil, these are basically the hydrodistilled extracts of non-volatile components of any plant material. Oleoresins, these are the solvent extracts. So if we see of the broad spectrum efficacy of phytochemicals, we can identify that actually lots of primary plant materials which are very well known in culinary applications as well and have a very huge history of being used as a medicinal plant are proven to have antimicrobial, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory activities, even immunomodulatory, digestive, antiviral, and gastric health. So few to name are like cinnamon, which includes certain active metabolites like cinnamaldehyde, cinnamic acid, cadheine. They have shown good efficacy against antimicrobial and antioxidant activities and also shown immunomodulatory activities. Turmeric, one of the most famous plant material, which contains curcuminoids as an active principle. It also shows antimicrobial activity. Other moieties present in turmeric like alpha turmerone, selenin, they have also shown very good antioxidant, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory activities. Black pepper contains limonene, saponin, caryophyllene. These have shown antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory activities and also digestive activities. Thyme, ginger, clove, mustard, these are all bunch of raw materials. They have very nice and good natural phytochemicals which have proven record of efficacy against antimicrobial, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory activities, to name a few. So if we want to have a bioactivity based classification of these plant materials based on our requirement to address, for example, antimicrobial as an issue or an antioxidant as an issue or anti-inflammatory, digestive, anxiolytic, antiviral, immunity. So we can design a formulation which can be based on the active principles present in each plant material to have a holistic approach to have a better efficacy, better performance, better stability, better bioavailability for the target site. So for example, if we want to design a formulation of antimicrobial, we can choose from cinnamon, citronella, clove, coriander, black pepper, rosemary, which have shown very good efficacy against antimicrobial activity. Antioxidant, again, for example, cinnamon, rosemary, turmeric, fennel, cumin. Anti-inflammatory, again, like turmeric, olibanum, juniper. Digestive applications, again, widely used as black pepper, ajwain, cardamom, cumin. Anxiolytic, antiviral, and immunity activities similarly by different assortment of plant materials. So basically how phytogenics helps in this scenario. Phytogenics helps by improving healthy gut microflora, digestion stability, growth performance, immune system, feed efficiency. It also helps by reducing mortality, reducing cost, reducing environmental load of antibiotics, reducing diarrhea, intestinal inflammation, and ammonia emission. So on the whole, what I would like to mention here is that phytogenic feed additives provides you a win-win situation for all its stakeholders. When if we identify the major stakeholders, the 4 major stakeholders are like animal, consumer, environment, and the farmer. So how it helps each stakeholder, I'll just give you a small glimpse into it. So benefits of for animals is like improved animal health due to stronger immune systems, reduced occurrence of intestinal inflammation, support for an optimal intestinal flora, and reduced ammonia emissions, resulting in the ability to reduce the therapeutic use of antibiotics. Benefits for farmers and producers, improved animal digestion, resulting in better conversion of nutrients and therefore reduced feed costs, consistently improved animal performance, and therefore higher profitability for farmers. how it helps the consumers. So regulatory bodies have already checked into this kind of efficacy of plant materials, and bodies like European Food Safety Authority also ensures the products are good. Benefits for the environment: efficient, sustainable use of natural resources due to reduced emission of ammonia and methane and greenhouse gases. For example, like 5% less of carbon dioxide. Now, one category of phytogenics, like I explained before, is essential oil. So what are essential oils, and why I'm emphasizing more on essential oil here in this presentation, I'll explain in the forthcoming slides. So basically, essential oils are the volatile aromatic components of herbs and spices, which find use in perfumery, food flavoring, and preservation. It's also being used since ancient times as medicinal approach as well. Essential oils actually exhibit different activities attributed to their active chemical constituents. Some of the activities are like antibacterial, antifungal, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory. So how essential oil is advantageous to us? Because of its mechanism of action, because of its selection approach, because of its chemistry. For example, the desired effect can be attained using different essential oils due to their diverse chemical composition. Also, the pH dependency of essential oil provides you with a unique option of selective targets to be addressed. To explain in detail, so let's consider that case of antiviral activity of essential oils. So the essential oils can be, by chemistry, can be like monoterpene phenols or phenylpropanes. So for example, monoterpene phenols are like thymol and carboxyl. What is its mode of action? It interacts with the cell membrane by hydrogen bonding. The impact of this is it renders the membranes of mitochondria more permeable and disintegrates the outer cell membrane. However, on the other hand, phenylpropanes, another class of essential oil, for example, cinnamaldehyde, they bind with proteins through their carbonyl group and prevents the action of important cellular enzymes of the target host organism. So this provides you with a broad spectrum approach of essential oils. So this chemistry helps you design a product where you can selectively create a blend of thymol, cinnamaldehyde, and different chemistry of molecules to have a broad spectrum application to the target problem. To explain it a little bit more, I will first of all try to mention two things. Let's compare it with case of antibiotics. So antibiotics, how they work? They basically work with 4 different pathways. One is called as nucleic acid synthesis. So in nucleic acid synthesis, they majorly focus on the folate synthesis. Second is enzymatic approach, where they focus on DNA gyrase, RNA polymerase like target sites. Cell membrane wall synthesis. Here it affects the cell membrane to kill the host cell. Then also it impacts the protein synthesis. For example, the 50S subunit and 30S subunit of the host to damage the microorganism. But despite of that, the issue is the bacteria still can develop resistance against all antibiotic target sites. However, on the other hand, if we specifically talk about essential oils, so essential oils can penetrate or damage the bacterial cell wall and cell membrane. Once inside the bacterium, essential oils are also assumed to trigger the coagulation of cytosolic proteins and the efflux of essential intracellular compounds. So what it does? So basically, to explain that, let's go to the next slide. So this is one of the novel method of understanding how antimicrobial agents work or how to discover new microbials. So the prospect of future post-antibiotic era actually called for novel targets and innovative approaches to the control and cure of infectious diseases. So in this case, quorum sensing has become one of the very good tool, which is basically nothing but the regulation of gene expression in response to fluctuation in cell population density. So what basically in a normal language it means? So it means that bacterial load is controlled by a way of communication between these microorganisms, where they decide to increase or decrease the load of microorganism based on certain auto-inducers. Certain molecules here act as signals which tells the organism that now we have to increase the microbial load or we have to decrease the microbial load. So for example, this mechanism is different in both gram-negative and gram-positive bacteria. In gram-positive bacteria, it is taken care by short peptide molecules. And in gram-negative bacteria, it is taken care by N-acyl homoserine lactone derivatives. So the development of a stable biofilm becomes the first quorum sensing dependent process. So what does it mean? That there is a formation of biofilm that happens on any surface, any contaminated area by the microbes, by the bacteria, where it uses as a communication route to decide whether microbial load will be increased or decreased within an infection in most pathogenic bacteria. But phytogenic substances, for example, exclusively essential oil, have the power to contract biofilm formation by quorum sensing inhibition. And the beauty is that the organism will never be able to mutate in this scenario to have a resistant property. So hence, phytogenics becomes a very crucial agent as a solution for antimicrobial approach. Now to have a look on certain kind of MICs of essential oils, where it has already widely been studied on different microbial strains, for example, E. coli, Salmonella, Staphylococcus, Listeria, Bacillus. So we can see here that different raw materials have been studied on the efficacy. Its MICs were evaluated. For example, rosemary, sage, oregano, thyme, lemongrass, carbachol, thymol, geraniol. The key factor here to observe is different raw materials, as I mentioned just a little bit earlier, have different chemistry, and based on that chemistry, their efficacy on different strains of microorganisms are different. In one case, rosemary has higher efficacy in E. coli, whereas in another case, carbachol has higher efficacy in Salmonella. Similarly, thymol is also showing good efficacy in Salmonella. So the thing that I'm trying to point out over here is if we want to approach a broad spectrum application, we have to selectively look into the active principles present in different plant material and take it as a case study to prepare a most effective impact against a target problem. Second USP of essential oils is pH dependency. How pH dependency is useful for us. So the effect on hydrophobicity, thus influencing essential oils interaction with the bacterial cell membrane, which affect the antibacterial action of essential oils across the different segments of the gut. So what does it mean? It means that a gut will definitely have good or bad bacteria, and essential oil being very pH dependent, pH specific, it selectively acts on specific microorganisms, which is not favorable for that condition. Hence, it helps in maintaining the good bacteria microbiota. So ability to affect the growth of some undesirable bacteria makes them ideal candidate as gut bacterial modulators, favoring the growth of beneficial gut microbiota, hence supporting growth performance. So this is the efficacy USP of essential oil. Also, if we can try to understand the regulatory aspect, essential oils have also met the criterion for feed additive under EU legislation, which mentions the additive should meet following conditions. It should be favorable, have favorable effect on livestock production, should not endanger animal or human health, its level of use is less than therapeutic dosage, and it is not in use for medical or veterinary purpose. So all these four objectives are rightly met by essential oils, and it is completely in compliance with EU legislation. I would also like to now here share some of the case studies on different organisms. To start with, in case of poultry, there have been wide studies with respect to aromatic herbs and essential oils. In this particular table, we can see the efficacy of essential oil and different herbs on broilers and turkey. So in essential oils, which have been used in this case at a gram per kg level, have different concentration of dosage, where feed intake and body weight gain are equally expressed, and feed conversion rate. For example, if we consider the case of carboprol, we can see there is a FCR reduction of 1. Then again cinnamaldehyde and cinnamon. Cinnamon again has proven that feed intake has also reduced and FCR has also reduced. For example, if we now take about a case of thymol. In thymol, it has been very effective, where feed intake has reduced from +1 to -5, but feed conversion ratio has also increased from reduced from -1 to -3. Again, in the case of turkeys, the aromatic herbs like oregano have also shown improvement in feed intake. So from 1.25 gram per kg of dosage, it has shown a result of 5%. Again, now to understand the scenario in phytogenics in aquaculture, first of all, I would like to mention here that phytogenics, although has been very well studied so far in land animals, specifically in cattle and poultry and piglets, but in aquaculture, still it is being considered as novel and studies are going. So the question arises that, is it very new concept or really some positive impacts have already been shown? So the phytogenics comprise a relatively young class of feed additives. The plant-derived products are added to improve animal performance here. But the sustainable aquaculture development requires the use of safe and effective solutions to tackle the challenges of this industry. There is increased evidence that natural products like essential oils can have beneficial applications in aquaculture, including improvements in feed utilization and growth, and possibly as prophylactic and therapeutic agents to control various bacterial and fungal disease. So for example, if we, in this particular case, try to understand the mechanism. So phytogenics as feed additives, they normally affect on the gut as one of the best site, which helps in production of digestive enzymes, enhancement of intestinal morphology, improvement in digestion and absorption, stability of microbial community in the gut, and also reduction in production of pro-inflammatory cytokines. A series of trials conducted by various groups have also shown that phytogenics have positive effects. For example, if we see this particular image, the red spots here is very well known for the problems in shrimps, which is caused by Vibrio larvae. Then again, in this graph, a specific growth rate percentage versus control diet and diet with essential oils has been done, where the positive effects of application of phytogenics in aquafeeds were also confirmed. So in this is a particular case of Pangasius. When the phytogenic product was included in commercial feed at a dosage of 150 gram per ton and fed during the entire production cycle, fish fed, the supplemented feed had a 5.10% higher growth rate and 6.73% lower feed conversion ratio. So the it infers that the phytogenics, specifically, for example, the plant family of Labiatae, has received most phytogenic interest, which includes thyme, oregano, and sage. Research on antimicrobial activity of essential oils demonstrated their inhibition effects on the bacteria, Vibrio, Streptococcus, Aeromonas species, to name a few, for example. Another example in this case is a study was done specifically on channel catfish for a period of 12 weeks, where the studies conducted with channel catfish at the Thad Pochran National Warm Water Aquaculture Center showed that the application of essential oils at a dosage of 200 gram per metric ton of feed improved feed palatability and increased feed intake, resulting in higher growth rates. Also, if we look into this graph of a study done on white shrimp challenged with Vibrio, which showed that a dosage of 200 gram per metric ton of feed resulted in higher growth, lower FCR, and improved disease resistance during a challenge with Vibrio parahemolyticus. So what basically happened in this particular case of that results, that the shrimp fed the phytogenic product had a half lethal time LT50 of 114 hours, while in the control group, the LT50 was just 10 hours. So we can see the difference of impact that was created because of the usage of phytogenics. The LT50 is the time actually in which the 50% of the animals in a group die after exposure to a particular dosage of pathogen. So the analysis of immune parameters, hemocytes, and granulocytes revealed no significant difference between shrimp fed in the control diet and those in comparison to those fed with the phytogenic product. So what I'm trying to communicate here is that there is increased evidence that essential oils can have positive effect on aquaculture species, not only by promoting growth and improved feed efficiency, but also by acting as prophylactic agents to control certain major bacterial diseases. However, to conclude, we need to also understand the future prospects of phytogenics. The basic challenges which majorly occur in this particular scenario is design of product composition comprising of used plant parts based on its physicochemical properties. This becomes very important here because we cannot just take herbs and blend it and expect it to have a performance. Because of the source of origin, the harvest time, compatibility with the other ingredients feed plays, it plays a crucial role in efficacy. Also, inappropriate inclusion levels, which can cause a too high concentration of an active principle or too low concentration of an active principle, may affect the MIC, causing inconsistent effects in terms of growth performance. Hence, development of these phytogenics under controlled condition with identified SOP and quality parameters becomes key. Extract composition can be recommended under specific circumstances of use using phytogenics. Proprietary recipe is actually the key for the solution which we are looking for. Thank you from my end, and this is all for the day.
Thank you very much, Dr. Deb. It was really an interesting and very informative presentation on the essential oils and the scientific reports and the validations that you gave on the action of the mode of action of the essential oils on various gram-positive and gram-negative infections. That gives us a new, in fact, area to look into, particularly in poultry and aquaculture. So, in fact, I'll just take a few minutes, in fact, on 3 of our products which we have in poultry as well as in aquaculture. So I'll just take you through those. Okay. So first of all, just a brief about the company, Innovista. Innovista is an innovative specialty livestock nutrition and healthcare company based out of New Delhi, Hyderabad, and Kolkata. We are pioneers in novel feed additive concepts of world-class quality at affordable prices in the natural product space. Innovista is a ISO 9001:2015 certified company. Our partner manufacturing facilities are GMP Plus and FEMIQS certified, so which opens our path for exports to various countries also in the Europe and US. Innovista has built its position as a supplier of choice by exercising tremendous discipline in its product strategies, applying long-term vision, and abiding by ethical principles such as ensuring total transparency towards our clients in all business associations. We strive every day to ensure that we strive every day to ensure that our specialty products offerings live fully up to the expectation of our esteemed customers. So straight coming to the first product, curcumol. Curcumol is a research product of Innovista, and in fact, the man behind this product was none other than Dr. Acharya. He's the one who first conceptualized and brought this product into the industry. We had launched this product in the year 2014, and the idea about curcumol was primarily to introduce the antibiotic and the antiseptic and the antiviral properties of this product into the industry. And apart from that, it also has other benefits also. So curcumol is a purified turmeric oil. It is fortified with curcuminoids, which are the plant alkaloids derived from turmeric that impart the orange color to the herb and also offers a range of medicinal properties to the turmeric plant. Curcumol also contains sesquiterpenoids, which also has a strong antiviral properties. So why do you need to add curcumol in livestock rations? Because of the medicinal value, curcumol has got an antibacterial, antiseptic properties, antiviral. It is also anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antiprotozoal. So we have, for every feature that we are suggesting here, we have sufficient data and sufficient proof. For the last so many years, we have the industry has tried this product in various parts of the country and also internationally. So today we have enough data to substantiate the properties that we are discussing here. In addition, curcumol also is an excellent dye. In fact, it gives a yellow color to the golden yellow color to the feed, and it masks the ingredients color. Normally, the other ingredients which some substitutes of energy that we use in the feed sometimes gives off color to the feed, and curcumol helps in masking the off color, and it also gives a pleasant odor. So you see the color difference between use of curcumol with turmeric powder, as you see here, and this is the curcumol feed. Then we come to the next product, which is Nativol. Nativol is an essential oil blend. As Dr. Dev, during his presentation, he mentioned that it has to be a proprietary formulation wherein just not one, but a blend of various essential oils. They actually have the properties of, they have a common approach in bringing down the improving performance and acting in various antibacterial, antifungal, and other properties that you talk about a blend of oils. So Nativol is a granular blend of essential oils. You have oregano, which is a great antibacterial agent. It has phytonutrients like thymol and carvacrol in oregano, which fights infections such as staphylococcus, loaded with antioxidants that helps prevent cell damage. Cinnamon has got eugenol and cinnamaldehyde, which is an antifungal and antibacterial. Rosemary, it has cymene, thymol, and eucalyptol, which have antibacterial, antifungal, and antioxidant properties. Marigold has antifungal, anti-inflammatory, and antibacterial properties. So, which has a high functional pair of antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, gut stimulating, and digestive enzymes, and reduction of ammonia or methane load in the environment. So we have a liquid form as well as a granular form. So liquid form actually for the water mitigation, and the granular form for the feed. It goes into feed. The third product that we have with us is Alivis. Alivis is a garlic oil extract, and again, it is available in both a powder and a liquid form. So what is Alivis? Alivis is a garlic oil extract with high concentrations of garlic oil, both as a feed supplement and liquid formulation. Alivis has got a broad spectrum antimicrobial effect. It has a feed attractant effect. It improves hatchability in breeders, improves meat flavor, and lowers cholesterol with no side effects, no residues, and no resistance, and no cross resistance with other feed ingredients. Again, Alivis we have in a liquid and a powder form. It comes in a 1 liter liquid and 1 kg pouch of a powder form packed in a 25 kg drum. So these are the three products that we are currently offering in the poultry as well as in aquaculture. And beyond this, if you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer your queries. So thank you very much. We have a few questions here. So one question comes from yes. Okay. We'll come to the questions. I mean, both the questions coming from the aqua sector. Is curcumol used in aquaculture? We know that turmeric can be used in aqua as well because of the properties that we have discussed of antibacterial and other properties of turmeric. Dr. Dev, would you like to answer this question further? Would you want to complement?
So basically, when we are talking about the application of aqua, we need to understand the problem statements here. And curcumin has actually a lot of properties in antiseptic, antiviral, and antioxidant applications. One of the major challenges, like we mentioned about the different bacterial strains, which are currently of a problem issue. Curcumol, the product itself, contains a lot of antiviral as well as antibiotic, antimicrobial moieties, for example, sesquiterpenes, for example, AR termorons, I mean. These ingredients have proven efficacy against these strains. So yes, this can be worked on for aqua.
Okay, thank you very much. And there's one more question from Mr. Sunil Samant. What are the trial results on shrimp? For which product he has not mentioned here. So any study on immunity development in shrimp with this product? Probably he's talking about Nativol. Well, we are conducting several trials on shrimps, but I mean, at the moment, I can only say that there are a lot of ongoing trials. We have some reports, but we would definitely want to publish those reports, only then we would bring it to the public domain. So at the moment, we can only say that we have a few ongoing trials for all the three products that we are mentioning here.
However, those products are being designed based on specific active principles of essential oil, for example, carbachol, thymol, and they have already proven efficacy reports available, which we can share based on your requirement.
See, I can see questions from the aqua sector, but none from the poultry. Probably everyone in poultry have been using these products for quite some time, and I only assume that they have seen good results. And for the last many years, in fact, I can only say that products like curcumol and Alivis have been really appreciated and have been used by people across the industry, I would say across South Asia region. Any further questions coming in? None from poultry. So if there are no more questions, we would like to, I would want to say thank you to everyone who have attended this webinar, and it's really been a pleasure to address I'm sure for Phytogenics, there have been a lot of people who have been wanting to know more about Phytogenics. There have been a lot of curiosity in the industry, and with a large number of people who have attended this webinar, I can say that there is definitely a lot of interest, and we would want to cater to all those customers who have been looking for such kind of novel products. And as Innovista, we are always looking for novelty in all the product segments, and we do our best to bring out the best in the industry. So with these words, I want to thank Dr. Dev Acharya for taking out time for making this wonderful presentation, and to all the participants who have joined us. And it's been really, I think there's one more question. some more questions. Yeah. Alevis, how can Alevis control white feces? Please explain. White feces probably being caused by the Vibrio, I think, and I mean, we have seen the results of the product in aquaculture being used by some of the top feed millers in aqua. On the technicalities, probably I'm not, of course, I'm not the right person to talk about the action of Alevis in aqua. I would definitely get back to you with an answer, talking to some of those experts. We had an aqua seminar just a few days back, and there was those experts who had explained this on that particular day. I'll speak to them again, and I'll get back to you on the efficacy of Alevis in white feces. So, Mr. Shiv Kumar will definitely address your question, and we will come back to you. There's couple of more questions now. Sir, is there any water pollution aquaculture usage of these phytogenics? Water pollution, I would only say that probably it is going to reduce there are certain, ingredients like allicin, which can reduce that's my assumption. I mean, again, I have to refer back and get back to you, but it reduces the ammonia levels. So if the ammonia levels in the system or in your ecosystem is going down, which definitely is going to improve the water, sanitation, and it improves the water hygiene. So rather than polluting the water, I think it's going to have a beneficial effect on the ecosystem of the shrimps, and also in case of the ponds.
Yes, and to add on to it, normally the water quality is being controlled by the COD and BOD, like the chemical oxygen demand and the biological oxygen demand, which is unfavorable growth of certain organisms over there. And products like essential oil-based phytogenics definitely bring a positive approach to it by reduction of these kind of strains and load, and reducing the BOD, and which improves the water quality definitely and makes it more favorable to the organism.
One simple yes or no question from Mr. Kotapalli. Innovista is producing shrimp feed. The answer is no. We don't produce shrimp feed. What we do is we make additives and primarily additives, and also water medication for shrimps and in aquaculture. Again, a question from Mr. Sunil Samant. Immunity development shrimps with any product against bacteria. Primarily, I would say that, what we discussed, there are products which improves the immunity, like allicin actually improves immunity. So there is a possibility of improved immunity by using allicin or Alevis in shrimps. And also it is a good antibacterial also. So it can also work as a good antibacterial. So shrimp performance would definitely be better. Or
in fact, in my presentation, I also highlighted that the usage of essential oils have actually proven positive reports for treatment against Vibrio harvey. For example, where it has been essential oils like sourced from thyme, oregano, and sage, they have definitely shown positive reports. So yes, there are proven records available.
Question from Mr. Manoj Kumar. In shrimp culture, phytogenics increase the ammonia levels? Question mark. As I said, I repeat again, I don't think they will increase the ammonia levels. They would definitely work against the ammonia levels, and it probably works as a diatom booster. So if it works as a diatom booster, there is no chance that the ammonia level should increase. It only improves the hygiene actually. With better hygiene, you have a better performance and a better ecosystem in the ponds. So I think excellent participation from all participants. And I again want to thank you all for taking out your time. And we look forward to more such webinars in the coming days. And thanks a ton to all, I would say the customers sitting here who have supported Innovista for the last more than a decade now. And we are today, whatever we are today, it's only for, you guys. You have made Innovista what at whatever level we are today. So thank you again. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we take leave and have a sumptuous dinner. Thank you all. Thank you. Good night. Good night.